Hello and welcome to day 6 of Finding Grace Through Stillness. Yesterday we looked at finding grace before centering, right? So making sure we had a nice clear space around our mat so that we didn't clutter our minds with that physical presence, and nor did we clutter the other people practicing around us, their space. And then that allows us to come into stillness, right? Because we don't have these things cluttered around us. And the day previous, we talked about how in centering, the whole reason why we come into centering is to just land on our mat and be still, just be in the moment, bring our presence and our awareness to the mat so we can have a mindful asana practice. Today I want to look at how we need to come to stillness after Shavasana. And you might say, well, but we've just been in Shavasana, so why do we need to come to stillness again? And I think this is something that's really important to finish off a practice and make it complete. I know that everybody has really, really busy lives, and trying to fit in a practice at a studio around your work schedule, your kids' schedules, or whatever, things you have going on in your life is a challenge for most of us. However, when you take the time to come into a practice on your mat in the studio, and even when you take the time to practice on your mat at home or wherever you are, you want to take the time to finish it off properly so that you can end off in that right state of mind and be present throughout the rest of your day. So just as we start off in stillness at the beginning of practice, before we even come to centering, and make sure everything is clear around us so we can clear our mind and just be for those few breaths that were there. Likewise, when we come out of Shavasana, we've done our Om and we've said Namaste, and the teacher has left you in your salutations, and it's time to roll up your mat and leave. There's people that are always going to be the people that fly out of there, right? Generally speaking, these are people who haven't been able to settle in Shavasana, and hopefully this coming week when we look at Shavasana, that will change that. But these are also people that, they have so many things on their head, and they're like, I've got to just go. I've got to go pick up the kids. I got to go do this errand or this errand. I've got to be in this place. And they've just kind of like undone a lot of what they've done, a lot of what they've accomplished during the practice of, being mindful and taking the time for that reprieve. So when you finish your mat practice, instead of when, after the teacher gives their salutations and, it's time to roll up your mat, instead of flying up off your mat, rolling it up, throwing all your stuff together and flying out the door, take a minute. That doesn't mean you have to sit still, maybe it does. But take a minute and linger, right? Slowly gather your things together, mindfully, quietly. Put your stuff together and allow your body the time to just be still. And I don't want to say slow or sluggish, but just, kind of move at a slower pace to pull yourself together. Just take those few seconds. It doesn't have to be minutes. It doesn't, you don't have to sit and linger on your mat for 5 or 10 minutes. But generally speaking, after you've done the salutation and you have the permission to start rolling up and cleaning around you, you just pause, take a nice little breath or two, and then you slowly get up and nice and mindfully roll your mat up, pack up your things, clean your area, and in a very calm presence, leave the studio room. You'll feel that you gain so much more from the practice that you've had. Remember, yoga is not just a physical practice. Yoga is mind, body, and spirit. And when you lose these little moments of stillness, you lose the mind and the spirit part, and you make it only physical. So take the opportunity at the end of your Shavasana, when everything is all done and it's time to go, to just be still. Move slowly, be in the present moment before you let, the daily life hit you quickly in the face when you walk out the door. Be ready for it in that mindful state. Thanks for joining me for today. Hopefully this enhances your mat practice, and we'll see you soon.